So, I just watched the first episode of the Time Lord Victoria's Daleks animated series, The Archive of Isos, which, this series is a bit interesting, so let's get out of it first, the main thing. Yes, the animation, it does make it look like a PS2 game. It does, basically. The Dalek animation is pretty good, but there's not really. It is pretty basic when it comes to stuff like a lot of things in this don't have really many textures or very basic textures. Everything's going one color. But I will say though the lighting is pretty good for the most part. But the animation in this is probably the weakest thing about it. But then again, it's kind of what you expect. Like, to be honest, if you'd have told me that this was, made by a YouTuber, an independent YouTuber, then, yeah, I would perfectly believe that. But the fact that this was made by the BBC, it's like, maybe CGI models and that 3D models maybe wasn't the correct way to go, although then again, Daleks don't really work in 2D animation, particularly, so I can see why they do that, in terms of that. In terms of the story itself, this first episode, basically, it's 13 minutes long, and I assume that pretty much all episodes will probably be, 13 to 15 minutes long, and there's only going to be 8 episodes, so basically each episode is going to be following on from the last. So to be honest, there's not much of a plot, really, to talk about with this. I mean, without spoiling this, basically the Daleks invade Isos, and they want Isos's archives, and that's basically it. The majority of the episode is the Emperor basically trying to talk an AI, a robot's AI, into basically giving up the archive, otherwise he will destroy it. That's basically it. I mean, to be honest, I can't really say much about the story so far, because it literally just feels like this is the first 13 minutes of, a bigger story. But it does kind of just throw you into it, basically. It doesn't really give you much. It kind of does feel like you're being thrown into the middle of an already existing story. I mean, basically, it just starts off, if you saw the teaser, where the Daleks just come and just start shooting at this planet, then, yeah, that's basically just the start of this, so there's not a lot to it. Nicholas Briggs is excellent as ever, and he really does differentiate himself in the different Dalek voices, particularly, stuff like the Emperor voice is basically is more of the Supreme Dalek voice rather than the Emperor voice that he normally does. And I think that's probably just because, he's evolved since then. But he does give the Daleks a lot more personality in this one. The Daleks do have a lot more personality, like the TV21 comics do, so he does sort of add that. But particularly with the strategist and the executioner, you can definitely tell, they have more of a personality than, say, TV Daleks do. So it's clear that the TV21 Dalek comics, have been a massive inspiration on this. Other than that, what I found a bit weird is when the Daleks in their sort of little hoverbouts shooting, it's just a generic sound, but when they use their, actual guns, it is the proper Dalek gun sound effect. So I wish that, it's a small thing, but I would like to see that. Also, it was just Daleks just constantly shooting. There didn't seem to be anything fighting back. No armaments or defences. I mean, it does show the Daleks as, a mighty, powerful force, but it just kind of seemed like the Daleks were shooting, but nothing. There was no fight. There was nothing attacking back at them at all. But, yeah. Overall, can I recommend this easily? Yeah. To be honest, I enjoyed this 13-minute, episode more than I have out of all of Series 11 and all of Series 12. And there's not a lot to it, so I won't say it's great or amazing, but we'll kind of see how it is. I kind of have to hold off judgment, since it's basically, it seems like it's, probably, if you were to watch it all again, like, basically a feature film, really, just split up into different sections. But yeah, overall, it's kind of about what I expected from it. But I'll be honest, Daleks acting like Daleks, and the dialogue is pretty good, and it shows how the Daleks are able to manipulate even, an AI on a robot. So yeah, I can still pretty much recommend this, and we'll see how it goes from here. So anyway, that's it for this video. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.